So you're thinking of moving to Salt Lake City. In this video, we're going to show you around Bountiful. It's a suburb just north of Salt Lake City. We will take you through some of the neighborhoods and show you some of the different price points and different homes so that you can get a feel to see if it's going to fit into your budget. If you stick around until the end, I will share with you some of the best kept secrets of the neighborhoods that you definitely don't want to miss. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Salt Lake, Utah, then subscribe and tap the button for notifications so you'll be the first to know about the current market in Salt Lake City, Utah, and the surrounding suburbs. My name is Janet with Living in Salt Lake City. We get calls and emails from people like you every day wanting to make a move to Salt Lake City, Utah, and the surrounding suburbs, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Our information is in the description below so that we can help you make a smooth move to Salt Lake City, Utah, and the surrounding suburbs. Okay, so right now I am on Main Street in Bountiful. Bountiful was actually one of the third cities set up here in Utah. So it has a lot of charm. There's a lot of local pop shops. There's a vibrant community spirit. When the weather permits, there are some fun food trucks that they have there on Thursdays and some people selling fun things that they've made that you just might have to have. So I am standing downtown on Main Street in Bountiful at this beautiful Veterans Park. In the winter, they actually turn it into an ice rink. And in the summer, there are a lot of little like water fountains that they provide. It's a great place for community to come together. This is also where they do like a farmer's market and the food trucks. So nestled to the east of the bustling I-15 corridor, Bountiful beckons you to easy commute to downtown Salt Lake City and also the international airport, either of which are going to be less than a 20-25 minute commute. With its convenient location, Bountiful serves as your gateway to the best of Utah's urban and natural surroundings. Boasting a population of around 45,000 people, Bountiful is a vibrant community and it perfectly complements your desire for city convenience and an urban lifestyle. For those of you who are craving some community bonding and family fun, there are a lot of parks in the area. One of our favorites is Creekside Park. It has a really cool playground. It has lots of little trails. It's kind of tucked into a neighborhood and there's a little creek that you can walk the trail, or actually you can do phenomenal family pictures there. In fact, that is where we chose to have my daughter's wedding. There's a really cool bridge and that's where she had the ceremony. It was during COVID, so we had to keep it outside and really small, and it was the perfect setting. Education is paramount in Bountiful. As part of the renowned Davis County School District, it ranks among the top rated districts in the state of Utah, according to a publisher of the Utah State Review. So what do you think so far? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you a couple properties and we're going to do some drive-by footage, and then I'm going to show you some drive-by footage of some of the other of my favorite places. Like, for example, I have my dentist here, my orthodontist here. There are some great opportunities. This is where my daughter has come. Right behind me, you can't see it, but my daughter has come to Main Street Bountiful for her dance lessons from the time she was 5 at Creative Arts Academy. So stay tuned and you'll see a lot more of what Bountiful has to offer. Okay, we're at 142 East, 1800 South in Bountiful, Utah. It is priced at $525,000, just below that. It is 5-bedroom, 2-bath. It was built in 1957 and it's just under 2,500 square feet. So something you might want to take into account if you're considering Bountiful as a place to move is that it is the third city that was actually founded in Salt Lake City area. And so if you're looking for larger open spaces, like the more new construction, what's really popular, you're most not likely not going to find that. Same thing like if you're looking for large bedrooms, big closets, like that's not what you're going to find in these older homes. If you need a lot of extra parking space, might be a little difficult. Now, you can get lucky. There have been some great remodels done in the area. So, but just keep that in mind if Bountiful is on your radar. Something you're going to be excited about if you move to Utah or when you move to Utah is that you're going to get an extra holiday. Here in Utah, we celebrate July 24th. It is to commemorate Brigham Young with the Mormon pioneers settling in Bountiful with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So as a celebration for Pioneer Day, it's a lot like the 4th of July. There are parades, there are fireworks, but it's really fun because you get an extra day off. And also, it's a great time. A lot of people in the area use it to travel in July, after school's out, before school starts. But in the real estate world, it's a phenomenal opportunity to take advantage to get a house during July when everyone else is distracted. Okay, we're at 878 East Millbrook Way in Bountiful, and this home is listed for $765,000. It's 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and it was built in 1991, and it's just over 3,800 square feet. And if you can't tell, this one's on a busy road, so there are some pros and cons to that, because something that you might love about it, as you can see, is that beautiful deck. And it does have gorgeous views that you can pan around and see. Okay, so I came to the other side of the house because there really is a lot of traffic on that road and someone was screaming at me. Let's talk about the loan process. It's really important to understand your numbers before you actually dive into looking at houses. And something that they're going to see you do is first they're going to have you fill out a loan application, and then they're going to want to see 2 years taxes, 90 days of your bank statements, 30 days pay stub. With that, they're going to review all the information, they're going to start doing some employment verifications, and they're really going to look at debt to income ratio and help you understand your numbers so that you can choose a payment that's comfortable for your lifestyle. So once you go fully under contract, then they're going to start asking for additional verifications. So they're going to ask for example, we turn in an earnest money check or a wire. They want to show that it actually went through your account, that it's actually been processed. It's really important for them to see that. Anyway, it can get pretty crazy, but the reason why it's such a roller coaster is this. Once you're fully under contract and they're starting to ask for verifications, you're working with a loan officer, and then that loan officer has a processor who's gathering all the documentation and getting ducks in a row to then give it to the assistant for the underwriter who has to review it. And you don't just go on top of the pile because they ask for something, you go on the bottom of the pile. And it can take days for that underwriter, once they've requested something, let's say they did request a photo and you have to turn it in. Just because they requested it doesn't mean that you get to be reviewed. They put you on the bottom of the stack. And if there's a lot of files, I mean, we're talking several days. So your heart is beating and you're freaking out and you're thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to get this house? Am I going to get this loan? The short answer is, as long as you can provide what they're asking for, you can rest assured that we're moving along with the process. So underwriters will start looking into the file until they run into something they need. And then they stop and they ask for what they need. So when you turn in that specific verification, when they start reviewing again, they're going to run into something else they need. And then you're going to go through the whole process all over again. So that's why I said it's a little bit of a roller coaster, but totally and completely 100% worth it. Okay, we are here at 328 East North Canyon Road in Bountiful, Utah. This home is listed for $1,150,000. It is 5-bedroom, 4-bath, and it was built in 2004, and it's just over 4,400 square feet. Something we can't see, but I did see in the photos, was this phenomenal grand staircase. So just like in all the movies, if you have children and they have high school dances, they can get a gorgeous picture on the staircase. Another thing that's unique to this property that I thought would be interesting to talk about is that it has an ADU, or accessory dwelling unit. Here in Utah, a few years, well, maybe it was about a year ago or more. I can't tell you exactly when, but what happened is they passed a law, and people who had mother-in-law apartments or accessory dwellings, so sometimes you do have to have a separate interest, sometimes you don't. But anyway, basically, if you had a second kitchen and a second dwelling, so you could have 2 families in a single family home, that they made that legal to rent to someone other than, like, mother-in-laws is supposed to be mother-in-law, basically, family. So now it has become, there's such a shortage on inventory that you actually, the appraisals have changed a little bit. So basically, appraisal is what a buyer is willing to pay, definition of value, I should say. And appraisers will actually follow trends. So when things got really crazy in here in Utah, when people were paying $50,000 cash above on a house, and then multiple people did it, if an appraiser could find, like, let's say he could find 6 different people in the same neighborhood who had all done that, then an appraiser could actually establish a higher price point. That happened with accessory dwellings because there's such a high need for multi-living dwellings, for affordability for one, and just like necessity for other. Actually, an appraiser will now give a home that has an accessory dwelling a higher value. Okay, now I want to tell you my favorite story about selling a house in Bountiful. So I had a family, we were selling their house and we were buying another one. We're in the process of selling their house, and we know that before we can make an offer on the new one, we have to have their house at a minimum with a pending contract so that we can move the funds and make it all come together. Unfortunately, like sometimes happens, my buyer found her dream house. Like she knew, like in her gut, in her heart, in her mind, she knew that this was 100% her house. So she said, Janet, I know this is my house. We have to get this house. And I promised her, and I said, I have never lost anyone's house. House and people match up together, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I called the listing agent and he said, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys are going to be disappointed. We have a solid buyer. We're already going through the process. Like, it's not available. You can't see it. We were disappointed. We had a hard conversation, but I said, look, it's meant to be. It will come back. I promise. We went through the process. We got a buyer. I called again and I said, okay, we are ready to purchase this house. And he said, I already told you, like, you're going to be disappointed because we just went through inspections and everything went really, really well. So it doesn't look good for you. And I said, well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret because this is my client's house. This is her dream house. We know it's her house. So I put a force field on the house. And there was silence. And I know he thought I was crazy, but I was like, for real, like, you don't understand. Like, I put a force field on the house and it'll come back to us if it's meant to be. And he kind of nervously laughed and quickly got off the phone with me. So then we get to the point where we are looking for houses. We happened to drive by said dream house. And my client was very sad because the houses we were looking at were just not her house. I said, you know what? It never hurts to call again. So I called the listing agent, and before he even said hello, he said, what did you do? What is a force field and how do you put a force field on a house? It doesn't make any sense. He said, I literally just got off the phone with the buyer. They had already done the appraisal, but they were doing some funky financing and they just canceled. The house is available. And I said, it's perfect because we're in the neighborhood. Just call and let the sellers know that we're right here and we will go on in and we will look at the house. You won't even have to go through the whole listing process again. We will just give you an offer and we will buy the house. And we did. Like, it worked out that way. So fast forward like another 6 months, and it's odd that you work again with other agents all the time, but it just so happened he had a listing, I had a new buyer. We made an offer on his property. We were not the best offer. My client couldn't compete the way that I knew that we had to get this house for my client. But the listing agent told his clients, he said, you guys don't have, you just don't know. She has this thing that she does, like this force field that she puts on properties. And so we need to work with her because besides that, she's a great agent. The buyers they go right through the process. There's no drama. So it got me another house for my other client because it was meant to be as well. So anyway, if you work with me and it's necessary, I might just have to put a force field on the house to protect it for us. Okay, so to wrap things up, now that you've seen a few homes in the area and different price points, And we're going to show you some footage around town, some of the great places to be in some of the neighborhoods as well. So if you are thinking of moving, whether it's 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We would love to help you make a smooth move to Salt Lake City and surrounding suburbs. Until next time, I hope to see you around town.